Hello, everybody, and welcome to Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my co-host, as always, the host with the most. His name is WWE Hall of Famer, Holla, Teddy
Hey,
Long.
man, we are hollering too, man. Great to be back this week with you, Mac.
Yes.
Missed you last week. You had to go away and do the big deal with the Hall of Fame and doing stuff with Sportskeeda and WrestleMania. So you had a real busy weekend, and I know you had a lot of fun. So glad that you made it back safe. And we're going to tell everybody, we're going to talk about that good time you had.
Yeah, look, I want to start right off by asking you, did you have a chance to check out Trish Stratus?
Well, I've known Trish, for a long time. Me and her are real good friends. And there's a name she always said. I guess we can cuss on here, but I would say I would always walk up to her and she'd look right at me, Teddy motherfucking Long. I swear, she'll tell you that. That was her deal. And just Trish was absolutely great to see. And, earlier in the week, we did make a comment. Well, you made the comment that Trish looks better now at an older age than she did when she was young. And that comes from, you got to take care of yourself, take care of your body. You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, numbers are going to come, but your body ain't going to age unless you let it age. You have to do things, do ab work, shoulders, chest, stuff to keep yourself in shape. And Trish is an avid gym rat, so she does work out and take care of herself. And and you were right. She looks absolutely fantastic.
She does. She was there with Lita. I was in an area where I was right near Mick Foley, Lita, and Trish, and so I got to see all of them pretty much the entire time that one day that they were there. And Teddy, I couldn't get over how young she looked and how in shape she looked. And as well as I do, you can do what you want at the gym, but if you're not eating right, you're not going to look that good. And she just looks incredible, just incredible. I want to tell you about my airline flight, Teddy. I booked. I booked.
Well, tell me what airline was you on?
Okay, that's the first problem. Spirit Airlines.
Okay, well, this has to be an interesting story. I will listen to it.
I got him. I got the offer to go up to L.A. to cover for Sportskeeda. And I had an airline that I had to fly, and the pricing of the airline seems great. It's like, oh man, that's a great price. I'm going to book that price right now. You book it, and then you realize why that price is what that price is. If you want to be comfortable, now you can buy a ticket to get on Spirit Airlines, but if you want to be comfortable for that 5-hour flight, then you got to pay more. You're going to have to pay extra because you're only going to get a middle seat if you don't go upgrade. So you got to upgrade your seat. I upgraded my seat. If you want entertainment in those 5 hours, to use the free Wi-Fi that's on the plane, that's another $20. If you want a Coca-Cola, that's $5. There are no peanuts, no snacks, just a basic fare flight. It was the most uncomfortable flight across country I've ever taken.
Well, I got to quit being cheap. Okay. And I understand that because I'm cheap too, but I like to be comfortable. And if it's going to cost me a few more bucks to be comfortable, then I'm going to pay that because this is about me. So I'm telling you, Mac, get on Delta and get Delta Comfort. It's just like first class. It just the seat ain't that big, but you got a TV, you eat free, you drink free. It's just that easy, man. It may cost you $3 or $4, but to go 5 hours, man, that's a pretty long flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Teddy, once I got off that airline flight, and that was a long flight, I got a taxi cab, which, by the way, is $100 to get from the airport to the hotel. Once I got to the hotel, I'm thinking, okay, great. I'm going to go drop my bags off in the room. I'm going to go downstairs to the bar and see where the boys are and see who's here. I get downstairs, and thank God things turned around at that point because I walked into the bar, and one of the promoters, Scott Wilder, grabbed me and said, hey, Matt, come over in here. I want you to meet somebody. And luckily, I got a chance to meet Bushwhacker Butch on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday night. We were all sitting in the bar. I know Luke for years. I've known Luke, but Butch I've never met before. and had a great time. And the next morning I hear he ended up in the hospital, and things just went south from there. And then we lost him. And so I just want to make mention of that. That was really a damper on the weekend because I knew a lot more than I was telling people and what I was willing to tell even Sportskeeda, because we wanted to make sure the family found out first, because the family was so far away. You know, they're not here in the States. They're way over in New Zealand. And they had no way of knowing. And with all the media and all the people there, we were scared to death that somebody was going to leak out that he was in bad shape before the family found out. But and then, of course, he did pass away, and that just got things even worse. But just a damper on what was otherwise a great weekend.
Yeah, well, yeah, I happened to hear that too. And the thing that really got me there is, you know, you're sitting there talking with a guy, having fun, laughing and talking, and the next thing you know, he's gone. Yep. That's, you know, that's tough, man, because like I say, we never know how we're going to leave this world. But, you know, like I said, that's pretty tough. I had a chance to meet both of them. You know, I was like more buddy with Luke than I was with Butch. Yeah. But I met both of them back in the day. I worked with them in WCW and NWA and stuff. So I knew him too. And like I said, he's always was a fun guy. You know, him and Luke, they're funny as shit. Anywhere you went, they'd have you laughing all day. So, you know, that's a great loss to our business. Even though the guy's, semi-retired, it's still a great loss. And God bless his family.
Teddy, let me ask you your overall thoughts for WrestleMania 39 weekend. What did you think?
Well, I thought that they certainly had a successful 2-day, 3-day event there, man. It was a great WrestleMania. It's one of the better WrestleManias that I've ever seen. And like I said, the tons of people were there. The people, you could see that they had a great, outstanding time. A lot of guys was there for another big event, WrestleCon, which all those guys did real well there too. But I thought WrestleMania was outstanding. I mean, very, very good. I mean, just what a great show. And so if they can just keep on rolling like that, man, you know, that's the way it ought to be.
I really thought that the entire 2 days, outside of maybe 1 or 2 matches, I thought everybody did an excellent job at WrestleMania. And I'm not, as you know, I wasn't a real big WWE fan until the last year, maybe, ever since the storyline with the Bloodline began to build. So I was really happy to see all that. You know, I wanted to see a change and things that would be presented and how they were presented. And I felt like that's what they were doing.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Like I said, I think they did a great show too, man. I mean, it was certainly, you know, entertaining. You know, they had everything. They didn't miss a thing there, man. So my congratulations to them. And when I meant 3-day event, you know, I was talking about that Hall of Fame. You know, it was also great too. So you know, all around, you know, all 3 days was certainly outstanding.
It was. And the Hall of Fame, I think we talked about this on Sportskeeda, Conan and his speech that night for Ray, I really thought was the highlight of that night.
Yeah. Well, like I said, a lot of respect for Conan, man. He's did a lot for wrestling, and he's certainly the reason why some of the guys like Rey Mysterio and other guys made it and was successful in professional wrestling. You know, they owe a lot to Conan.
Teddy, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with the favorite part of the program, and that is Ask Teddy.
Y'all better.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mac Davis, and I'm the host for Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours with WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. Yeah, that guy. Holla! He's not here right now, but he will be with me on Saturday, May 13th in St. Louis, Missouri for the big SICW Fan Fest. Let me tell you, this is 50 years of keeping the tradition alive in the St. Louis area, and you need to be a part of this big event. Listen to this lineup: Jerry Briscoe, Cowboy Bob Orton, Buff Bagwell, Faku, Jimmy Hart, JBL, the Nasty Boys, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Stan Hansen, Enzo, Victoria or Tara, J.J. Dillon, Bushwhacker Luke, Earl Hebner, and many more. Make sure you have plans on Saturday, May 13th with us. Myself, Teddy Long, will be there live with our show, Road Trip After Hours, and we'll be there along with all the other legends, plus names I haven't mentioned yet. It's just getting that big, that fast. You need to get tickets before they're all gone. Do that right now by simply going to sicw.org. Get your tickets now, and we'll see you Saturday, May 13th.
Hey, y'all! Can somebody call my mama? It's about to get funky up in here.
Hey, I'm Ernest the Cat Miller here to check out Mac Davis and the legend. Look at the legend himself, man. Teddy Long.
Somebody call my mama. Somebody call my mama. Somebody call my mama. What you say? Somebody please call my mama.
All right, everybody, we are back with Road Trip After Hours. I'm Mac Davis. That is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. And it's time now where we go inside the mailbag to find out what you have to ask Teddy.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
All right, Teddy, here we go. Question number 1. Stanley from Pensacola is asking, any stories about Abdullah the Butcher?
No, not really. I kind of hung out with him a little bit back in the day when I was first, breaking into business and stuff. No, I don't really have any stories about Abdullah.
Was Abby a pretty quiet guy? Because, I'll tell you a story. One time they came, I was working at a radio station, and one of his managers, as he was making independent rounds, came up into my office saying, "Hey, would you like to meet Abdullah the Butcher?" And I'm in a second floor of this building. And I said, "Well, yeah, you can just have him come on up if you like." And he can't get up those stairs. So I'm like, okay. So I went down there, and sure enough, it was him. But he doesn't say much. He never really has said much in the locker rooms. He still kept that mystique about him, even if you met him on the indies.
No, he just did that with you.
Yeah.
No, he talks.
He talks quite a bit, huh?
And he talks quite a bit in the locker room. Okay. So, he just maybe was on the quiet with you. But when he's back there with us, and like I said, once I got broke into business and really got to know him real well, you know what I mean? He was always talkative to me. Oh, I got a story about him. Got it right here. I remember this. We was right in Ohio one night. And so let me tell you something about Abby. Abby's cheap too now and got all the money in the world, okay? But he's cheap. Yep. So here's what Abdullah the Butcher does. True story. Abdullah comes to my hotel room and he knocks on the door. And he says, he come on in, like I just thought he's just stopping by, you know what I mean, just to talk or whatever, Well, you know me, I smoke. So yeah. I'm in the room. So he comes in the room, sits down, puts his bags and stuff down, and gets in my bed. Okay, I'm sitting in the chair. He gets in my bed, just took over my room, didn't say one word. So I already knew, the guys already had told me, that he didn't like weed, didn't like smoking weed. So that time I had some weed and I had it right in my room. So he took over my bed. So I sit in that chair and I rolled up a big joint and I lit it. And I said, now you're going to smell all this if you're going to stay in here. But he took over my hotel room.
Hey, did you not say something to him when he got in your bed? Like, what the hell are you doing?
What do you say? I don't know what to say to him, because I'm saying, I'm just trying to break in. This is Abdullah the Butcher, a big star here. I don't know what to do.
You don't know if he's going to come at you with a fork if you open your mouth.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't never had that problem with him no more. He laughed about that after he found out what I'd done to him, Who told you I didn't like the weed, baby? Who told you? Who told you, champ? Who told you that, champ? I said, don't worry about it. And he's on laughing. I said, because I hit him. I said, remember that time you took over my hotel room? Oh, yeah, that's a story about Abdullah.
That's a good story, too. All right, listen, we got Kiki in Philadelphia wants to know, you mentioned that Kevin Sullivan was a big influence on your career and getting into the business. What kind of things did he pass on to you?
Well, Kevin Sullivan passed a lot of knowledge on to me, as far as being creative. and coming up with storylines. You know, he had a great mind. I mean, he was kind of way out there too with some of his ideas, you know, but you know, back then you could get away with some of that, but now you couldn't. So what Kevin was just smart. And what I did with Kevin is Kevin had me to come and sit with him every night. When Kevin was, a lot of people think about that NWO. Well, Kevin Sullivan was certainly a big part of that NWO for his creating it. And Kevin would book the NWO, and I would sit right there that night with him as he's booking the NWO for the TV. A lot of people didn't know this. Okay, me and Kevin were just that close. So nobody never even really knew I was there doing the whole booking thing when Kevin was booking it. In fact, you know, after I started hanging with Kevin and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, God rest his soul, he was another one that was real, you know, good to me and helped me in my career. After I started, you know, getting with them two then and watching things, then I started understanding a little bit better what this is all about. And so one night, and this is a true story, Kevin will tell you, one night that I give him an idea for Chris Benoit. Him and Chris Benoit was having this match. I forget what the name of it was, but they was fighting all over the building in Baltimore, Maryland, you know, one of those kind of matches. And Kevin was getting ready for it, and he asked me about something about it, and I gave him an idea for that. And I just really just mentioned it, and that's where, and it worked, and they did it. So I just learned a lot from Kevin, and Kevin's one of the greatest guys you could ever meet. Real nice guy, man, and I love him to death. I had a chance to get with him too when I was out in Texas running SWE. I called Kevin and brought Kevin in, and so he could be there, you know, with that great mind. But he come right in with that back in the day where he wanted to take a feather and put it in an ink bottle and sign the guys. I said, Kevin, well, brother, that's what me and Dusty did. We took the bottle of ink. I said, Kevin, we're not going to do that. I said, we can't, okay? So it was great, man.
I saw Kevin over the weekend at WrestleCon briefly. I did say hey to him, and you know, Kevin with that heavy Boston accent, and you do a great job with that, by the way.
Oh yeah, well, I rode with him and Nancy, God rest her soul. I mean, when she was married to Kevin, I was there with them through all that, so I had a chance to hang with Kevin for a long time, man.
I can just imagine the stories.
Oh,
Alex in. Well, if you got a story, I'll stop talking.
No, I don't know. I can't remember. I know I got some with Kevin, but I just. Oh, let's see what happened. I think this was in the airport, Greensboro. We landed in Greensboro. And, we was all standing at baggage claim and we was waiting to get our bags. No. Here's what it was. We after we got our bags, so we get on the rent-a-car bus to take us to the rent-a-car place. Well, the rent-a-car driver was a black guy, and so he was being a dick. I mean, just really being a dick. Unreal, man. So when we get to the rent-a-car place, Kevin was in the bus too. So then a white guy comes and comes over to talk to us, and then Kevin goes right off, and he goes right over to the white guy, and he says, "Brother, you should get rid of that piece of shit. He just called my friend the N-word." But he didn't say the N-word. He said the word, okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he told that to a white guy and told the white guy that the black guy just called me the N-word. Okay, yeah, he did that.
Hey, look, we both know he's got balls about this big, so Kevin will say whatever the hell he feels like.
Brother, Kevin was too much. Here's another good story, and we'll get off Kevin. I was in Amarillo, Texas. I was with Kevin Sullivan. Paul Heyman was with us at the time, and I was with Kevin Sullivan's little kid, Ben. Well, anyway, in Amarillo, Texas, there's the place there called the Polydor Canyon. Well, at that time, me and Kevin, you know, so I get to taking pills. I get full of pills, so I get in the car. So now I'm high as a cat. So all I want to do now, they showed me the Polydor Canyon. So now I'm so high, I think I can climb the Polydor Canyon. So I get out of the car. Ben Sullivan, Kevin's son, get out of the car. Kevin tells the true story, man. So here I go. I start to climb the fucking Polydor Canyon. So then I come back down. So then Ben tells me, Kevin Sullivan's son, he says, I lost my watch. It's up. I left it up there. So I'm going to be the hero. I go up and I'm going to find Ben's watch. I climb back up the Polydor Canyon. I see the watch, but the watch is on another rock. So I'm full of pills. The pills say, you can make it. Just jump right over to that other rock. You can do it. I jumped that one rock, didn't never make it to the other one, hit the cement, and I come all the way down, sliding down the Polydor Canyon. I skin up all this right here. All of my arms were just skin, nothing but skin. I got down, I've got Ben's watch. I got the watch, and I give it to Ben. And here's the high spot right here. After that, they went back to the hotel. I took a shower and I just taped up all my arms, put gauze on both of them, and went on to the arena and went to work. Yeah.
See, that's why you should not do drugs, people.
Oh, yeah. Too much.
Let's see. Alex in Twitter. I don't know if we can beat that story. Alex in Twitterland. I loved watching you work with Norman the Lunatic in WCW, where you could always send him back to the asylum by using your key.
Well, the key was Norman. Well, the key was the key to his cell. Okay. So that I was able to unlock the cell and get him out. So I always threaten him, you start acting up and don't do what I tell you, I'm gonna take you right back and lock you up. And see, I got the key. So that was the story there. But I had some good times with Norman. He was a great guy. I'm trying to remember his shoot name because he went back to work a little bit in WWE when I was there. Yep. Mike Shaw, I think that's it.
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I always liked the character, though. I thought it was a great character for WCW and unique, really, at that time.
Yeah, man. We that's when I was, just getting my foot in the door and start managing. And so Norman Lunatic was one of my guys.
Now, was that a Kevin Sullivan creation?
I think he had something to do with that. Somebody else brought Norman in. I think Mr. Barnett, Jim Barnett, and some other people kind of created that.
Okay. It sounded like a Kevin kind of thing, though. Let's see.
Kevin was part of it.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Jermaine in Long Island writes, during your time as a heel manager, you would throw your shoes at people. Did you ever lose a shoe?
No, because they always took care of my shoe and they'd give it back to me. But you had to know who to throw the shoe at. Yeah, I couldn't have did that with the Steiners because they'd have took my shoe and they'd have threw it in the crowd. I never would have got it back. So you don't throw things in unless you know you're going to get it back.
Yeah, I noticed the other night when Snoop Dogg was basically saving a segment at WrestleMania, he took off his glasses and chunked them into the audience. And the only thing I could think of, man, whoever caught those glasses is sitting on a lot of money right now because first of all, they weren't cheap glasses.
Well,
and so and it's Snoop Dogg's glasses, so.
Well, yeah, like I said, whoever got them, like you said, they got a nice little bit of money there.
Yeah, they do. Diane in Tennessee writes, thoughts on Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania.
Well, I think Snoop did a great job, just to be Snoop. He's not a professional wrestler, so you don't expect to, see this guy going moving around like you're looking at a professional wrestler. But Snoop has been around the business for a long time, man. I had a chance to get with him one time. We did a pay-per-view in Orlando, Florida, and Snoop was there. And that was the time that, if you smoke weed in WWE, you have to pay a fine if they caught you. So I think the fine was like $1,000. So, but I had a chance to go and smoke with Snoop. So, how many guys gonna say they had a chance to sit down and smoke with Snoop? I couldn't afford that, but I just said to myself, I'm like, if they call me, they get me. I'll just go and pay the $1,000 or whatever. But you can't turn the opportunity down not to smoke with Snoop Dogg. And I got a picture of that right now with me and him. And there's a guy that's sitting behind us in a chair. And one guy asked me, said, "But what is that guy doing there?" I said, he gets paid to roll blunts. That's all he does. He rolls blunts, and that's what he get paid to do. Oh, yeah.
If you got that picture, forward it over to me, and I'll add it in to the show here, and we can let people see what you're talking about.
I'll look for it. I'll find it. Yeah, I got it in my phone. I'm sure I do.
Let's see. Our last letter we have is from Herman in Oklahoma. And Teddy, this is a marry, date, or drop kick. I'm not gonna say kill. It's usually marry, date, kill. It's actually a little bit different than that. It's a little, but anyhow, you get the idea. You marry one, you date one, and you drop kick one. Get them out. Just drop kick them to the curb. So here's your first list. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch.
Trish Stratus, I marry. God, these are nice women.
man.
I hate to label one as kicking to the curb. I mean, how you gonna kick one of these women to the curb?
I don't think you would. I think you just had to pick
No.
one in second place and have a tie.
No, and then like I said, for me, just I wouldn't even be interested in marrying nobody. But Trish, I've known for a while. Lita, I had a chance to work with back in the day. I've known for a while, and Becky, I did meet her, rarely when I would go back to WWE and do stuff. So these are three great women, man. So I just can't answer that. I'd like to have all three of them.
Amen. Amen. And I'd rather date them all instead of marry them all. That's for sure. It costs too much money.
Yeah, I ain't doing no more marrying.
No.
I've had one. My wife's passed now, so no more marrying for me.
Yep. All right, here's your last batch of the same thing, Teddy. 3 more names to throw at you. Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley. And those 3 women right there, as soon as I saw those names clumped together like that, I know Teddy well enough because we both like the same thing on a lady, and all 3 of these women have that. So Teddy,
my answer is I ain't kicking neither one of them to the curb, so you can forget about that. So I feel the same way about them as I did that first list. I take them all.
Amen. That's it. That's all the time we have for this week. Teddy, what you got coming up? Anything we need to talk about?
We got next week coming up, April 15th and 16th, I believe. It's Greenville, South Carolina for the South Carolina Big Comic Con. I'll be there, and hopefully, we're working on trying to get you in there too, Mac. So hopefully, Mac will be in Greenville with us for the Big Comic Con. If not, I'll have cards and stuff with our after hours information and with our podcast, and I'll be passing that out along with autographs and stuff, so you people can start knowing where to subscribe to get after hours road trip, and you'll be in the mix. So other than that, that's about it right now, Mac.
Yeah, we also got St. Louis coming up. That's in May 13th. And that's a huge show. If you don't have tickets for that show yet, that's a huge fan fest with a ton of names. And I mean, I want to say there's close to 50 names now that'll be there that weekend. And they're big names, too. So make sure that you get your tickets at sicw.org.
All right.
Teddy, yeah. All right, that's all the time I got now. We are out of time. I'm Mac Davis. That is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and this has been Road Trip After Hours.
Holla!